Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Rev Brandon and the Todd Family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Tuesday night, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. Last night was pretty much my wrap up of the 2024 college football season because of Ohio State winning the national championship. Now, I've already did, a video or two about the transfer portal, transfer players, and already did a video or two about the coaching changes, and I'll do at least one more transfer video and at least one more coaching video before the 25 season starts. But one thing I didn't ask last night, and I guess it's kind of a question about the upcoming season more than it is this past season. Why is it so far that we have not seen coaches use the transfer portal like we have the last couple of years? Is it the fact that coaches are realizing that the transfer portal is not really going to help you a heck of a lot because there's a ton of teams, such as Florida State, that, use it like crazy and they still sucked? Or do these coaches not feel like there's a lot of, transfer portal players out there now that are really going to take you from being, good to great, or, great to elite, or bad to good? Or is it these coaches finally realize that, what Dabo had said from the get-go is right? Dabo had said from the get-go, if you need a player in the transfer portal, whether it's a position of need or, whatever the case may be, try to get that player. But don't go out and get a player just to say, hey, we use the portal. And I think people are seeing that, Dabo wasn't just saying that, Dabo meant it, because this year Clemson's actually went out and gotten players in the portal because they needed players for those positions. Dabo's always said, if I need a player, I'll go get him if I can, at least try. But I'm not going to go out and get a portal player just to say, hey, I used the portal, because it's useless. So I wonder which one of those things is really the answer. And, of course, we don't know. It's all talk. But you kind of wonder which one it is, because these past couple of years we've just seen, certain teams just go crazy on the portal. And this year it's just not there. Hey there, One Gorilla, glad you're here. Hey there, Repo, glad you're here. Hey there, Member, glad you're here. Hey there, Austin, glad you're here. Thank all y'all for commenting. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so. But tonight I want to talk some basketball, some college and NBA. Now, this is stuff as of this morning, so it's nothing about tonight. I know some of these teams played tonight. Some of these teams even played each other tonight, but this was all as of this morning, and I'm glad you love basketball, because that's what we're fixing to talk about. First, it's the college basketball AP poll, which came out yesterday. Auburn is the number one team right now in college basketball. Now, it doesn't mean a whole lot here to be number one as we sit here on January the 21st. But to be honest with you, right now Auburn is the best team in the country. Now, will that translate come March? I guess we'll find out. But right now, they are the best team in the country, and they're number one for a reason. They're the best team right now. Number two, Duke. And then we have Iowa State, Alabama, and Florida rounding out the top five. Speaking of Florida, back to college football, and I didn't even write this down. It just hit me when I said Florida. No, Austin, I'm talking basketball, but I'm going off on a tangent now about football, but Harrison Bailey, who is from the Atlanta area, played high school football in the Atlanta area, played for Tennessee. Then he went to UNLV. He spent the last 2 years at Louisville. He was actually their quarterback in their bowl game that they won. He is now committed to transfer to Florida, and he's going to be the backup for DJ Lagway. So obviously, he's not going somewhere to be a starter. He's just going somewhere to where he can be on a competitive football team and make his college career last as long as possible. And Jack, I am way too good looking to be Dr. Phil. Plus, I'm not fake like Dr. Phil, who claims to be a doctor when he has no doctorate degree. I don't claim to be something I'm not, but I'm way too good looking to be Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil can never be this sexy. 6 through 10 is Tennessee, Houston, Michigan State, Kentucky, and Marquette. Then we have Purdue, Kansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Oregon, 11 through 15. I would say Kansas right now has probably been a disappointing team. It doesn't matter as long as they turn it around come March. But, they were supposed to be a top 5 team this year, and so far they just have not lived up to it. And yes, Austin, Dr. Phil is a real person. He's had a TV show for years, and he's a real person. But I say he's fake because he let his doctor license go like 30 years ago and never renewed it. So he is a former doctor. But when your TV show is called Dr. Phil, you portray the fact that you're a current doctor. He's not. If you don't have a doctor license, you are a former doctor. You're not a current, present doctor. Ole Miss, number 16, Illinois, Wisconsin, UConn, and St. John's round out the top 20. Now, UConn's another disappointment, and I guess for all the college basketball lovers out there, it's a good thing because the last couple of years, UConn has been completely dominant, and they might still win it all come March into early April. But this year, they started out highly ranked, lost a couple of games, fell down the rankings, got back up to almost top 10, and lost some more, and now they're number 19. They just have not looked good so far this year. Then we have Michigan, Missouri, West Virginia, Memphis, and then Louisville rounding out the top 25. And I also want to talk some NBA because I know the NBA All-Star Weekend comes up Valentine's weekend, and they call that the mid-season break. But they call it the mid-season break, but by the time it gets here, most teams have played 50-plus games. So really, it's about the two-thirds of the season break. And yes, Austin, I do think Randy Orton will be in the Royal Rumble. So I want to talk about what the NBA standings look like right now because most teams now have played between 40 and 45 games. So game-wise now, an 82-game season, between 40 and 45, you're just about right at the halfway point game-wise. Right now, the best record in the NBA by one game belongs to the Eastern Conference and the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are 36-6. They started out really good. I want to say they won their first 14 games, I believe, or 15. And then they finally got beaten. You kind of thought, okay, well, now they're coming back down to earth. And I guess they have in a way, but they're still on pace to win 70-plus games. Of course, nobody's ever going to go undefeated in NBA season. But winning 70-plus games is still pretty doggone good. Then we have the Boston Celtics with 30 wins and 13 losses. The New York Knicks right now are third place in the Eastern Conference. The thing that hurts the Knicks is they're just not very deep. Their starting lineup is great, phenomenal, but they're really only about 8 men deep for the most part. And come playoff time, it's hard to win, 3 or 4 playoff series, and you only have 8 men, and they just basically almost have no bench at all. But that's the way their coach likes it. But it comes back to hurt you in the playoffs. Milwaukee Bucks right now are the 4th seed in the East at 24-17. Earlier in the season, the Bucks started out 0-6, and Giannis was asking to be traded. And I have not heard much talk of that since then, because since their 0-6 start, they're 24-11. That includes winning the NBA in-season tournament. So I think the Bucks have turned things around. The Indiana Pacers are 24-19. They're the 5 seed in the East. Then we have the Atlanta Hawks, the 6th seed in the East, sitting at 22-20. Sienna, I'm glad you asked. My night is going absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a bad day. We let bad moments create bad days, and today has been absolutely wonderful. My kids loved it because it snowed today, and we were not expecting or looking for any snow, so my kids loved it. I don't care anything about it, but hopefully your day has been great as well, Sienna, and maybe you got some snow in your neck of the woods wherever you are here on this Tuesday night. The Orlando Magic are 23-21. They're the 7th seed. The Miami Heat, 21-20. Jimmy Butler is asking to be traded, which shouldn't come as no surprise, because when he was with the Bulls, he wanted out. Played for the T-Wolves, he wanted out. And he played for one other team, and he wanted out. So him wanting out shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And Sienna, wherever you are, you can keep your -30 there with you, because here it's cold enough to snow, cold enough to stick, but I don't want to sniff -30. But I've always wondered, just like I wonder the same thing when it comes to summertime temperatures, is who deciphers the difference and who decides the difference. And what I mean by that is, if it's cold and you walk outside, there's no way you're going to tell me somebody can walk outside but it's -10 and walk outside at -15 and tell the difference. You just can't tell. So how do you go outside and decide how cold it is? Do you walk outside and carry a thermometer with you? Sienna, you have a fantastic night as well. Thank you for checking in, and please subscribe to the channel. And the Chicago Bulls are the 10 seed in the East at 19-25, 6 games below 500. And the Detroit Pistons, if I didn't say so, are the 9 seed at 22-21. And over on the Western Conference side, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, 1 game behind the Cavaliers for the NBA's best record. They're 35-7. Then we have the Rockets, 28-14. The Grizzlies, half a game behind the Rockets at 28-15. The Nuggets are 26-16. The Clippers are 24-18. The Lakers are 22-18. The Mavericks, 23-20. The Kings, 22-20. The Timberwolves at 22-21. And rounding out the playoffs as of right now in the Western Conference, the 10 seed sitting at 500, 21 wins, 21 losses, is the Phoenix Suns. Now, I would say the Suns are probably the most disappointing team in the NBA right now, because people have said for years that Kevin Durant basically is the Kirk Cousins of the NBA. He's a stat stuffer, puts up good numbers, but he's not going to make you good. And that's why he never could win a championship with the Thunder all those years ago. And, of course, he went to the Warriors and he won a title, but he had all that great talent Golden State already had. He left the Warriors, went to the Nets, and was supposedly going to turn the Nets around. It never happened. Now he's gone to the Suns, and he's still putting up great numbers, stuffing stat boards all over the place. But the Suns have basically been 500 all year long. They even went out and signed Bradley Beal to go along with Durant and Devin Booker, and it has not helped them at all. So all the basketball insiders and experts that say Kevin Durant is a stat stuffer that doesn't help you win, he's pretty much proven that to be true so far this year. Now, to a lot of people, my team, the New Orleans Pelicans, is the biggest disappointment, and I would say they might be a little bit because, yeah, they suck. They're terrible. But I didn't think they'd be this bad. Right now, I'd have thought they'd had about 16 or 17 wins and not 12. But at the same time, people keep expecting every year for them to make a deep playoff push. And as long as they've got Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson and CJ McCollum, it's not going to happen. Those are three fantastic players, but the best ability is availability, and those guys are never available. They might play 8 games tops in a whole year with all three of them there because one of them, if not two of them, is constantly hurt. I wish they would just let Ingram go, let Zion go, let McCollum go, and start over. They're good players, but when you have CJ one night, Brandon one night, Brandon and CJ the next night, Zion the next night, Zion and Brandon the next night, it's useless. You're never going to get in a rhythm, and those three guys just cannot stay healthy. If they walk on the court and they fart, they're going to be out for 2 weeks. So you shouldn't expect them to ever be healthy. But the Pelicans think if they can keep those three players healthy for one full season, they can make a deep push. And I'm not saying they're wrong, but considering these guys are always hurt, I think you're foolish to think that all of a sudden they're not going to be hurt when, according to their past, they're going to be hurt. None of them are going to play more than 6 games without being out. It's just not going to happen. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. People are so nice. One lady offered to clean my clock. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them.